Hi, my name is Dan Gregersen, and in this video I'll show actually three new features that we have added to the IRT application to make it easier to test. The first is the async-sync and the sync-async bridge, and then we have enabled you to trim test cases. So let me show you what these things are. So IRT is an application that allows you to collect messages from your productive system, because I believe that's the place where you got the best messages for testing. And then you can replay these messages on your test or development system and verify that the message looks the same way. And we have continuously adding new features based on customer requests to make sure that we're able to support the test that customers want to do. But we want to automate it as much as possible, so you just have to say click and run to do this. So these new features is the async-sync bridge without BPM and sync-async bridge without BPM, and then this trimming of test cases. And let's take that one first. So trimming of test cases is whenever you are creating a recording of any message. Like here we have recorded this message, and when we are doing our recording, just go back here to our recording. So when we record, we can specify an XPath to where we have something in our message that distinguishes this type or this document type. So this could be order types or invoice type, because it may be different data and you may have different cases in your PI system based on these order types. So now I've run set up these with and got some different order types on this, and that's good. But I believe that each of the different order types look a lot the same, so I just want to test with a few messages of each of these. So I can select all of these and I can say trim to 5 incoming messages. That means that instead of getting 20, I would just have 5. So it will delete. So I only got 5 different messages. So obviously you can do this based on all elements you can specify with an XPath in your document. So making it easier for you to have the correct test cases. So next up is this async-sync bridge, and I created a video about these different patterns. You can find it at picourse.com/patterns. And the way this async-sync bridge work is you're getting the way, you have your REST adapter. In this case, it's a best effort adapter. And on this, the system would add modules to it on before we start processing and after we start processing. Then the message would be sent to the flow. We would save it with a file adapter, and then we'll be picking up. And in this file adapter, we're setting the correlation, so it updates and says, hey, I'm actually the response of this one. So we're not using this flow down here for this. So in my test case here, I got this one. And if I click on this and view the details of this, we can see that this is a sync-async scenario. And we can see from one message we got some exactly ones in order messages, and we got best effort messages for the response. So we can run this. But the system automatically detects the patterns and adding these workflows. So if you want to do a recording, also now we're running the test. It does take a little while, because we have to make sure we're getting all the correlations correct. So we can see we now have a full test result. So we can see we got some errors here. What's diff here? So there's an error on a message. We can ignore that. So next time we would not see that as an error. If we want to do recording, it is actually quite simple. We just say, one more back, here in this test case up here, we'll just say record messages. We can do it automatically or manually, doesn't matter, and just say record messages for this. For the async sync bridge, it's a little different. Here we have a normal async iflow, and then the adapter here is synchronous, and we will then send the message back here. This SOAP adapter is never really called, so we're just getting the message into a specific iflow and processed all the way back. And I think there's two different ways you can specify this, either by interface or per this adapter, but the module would just be placed up here, so there's no need for us to do anything other than triggering recording or adding modules to this flow also. So once this run, this is what I have here, and here I have these different test cases. Let's see if we can just run them all. Run tests. And we are getting a lot of errors, which is good because we haven't set up what is relevant on these test cases, what the patterns are, and what our problems is. So here it's JSON, it figures out that JSON and doing JSON comparison. And you can see we are getting two different rest state here is different, and test set cookie is different on these things. So it's automatically able to test these things and figure out what's wrong. So it's a lot easier for you to test. You just say, hey, I got this scenario, I want to test it, and the system automatically figures out how this works. So if you want to get a free trial of this, you can go to figaf.com/IRT, and here you can test it out and see how well it works in your system, how easy it is to set up test case, how easy it is to run, and make sure that you're getting the best way of testing your SAP PI PO messages.